Howdy, y'all. Want to make a YouTube video in regards to my situation with women. There are none, as one might expect by watching a few of my earlier videos. This is an ongoing problem. Obviously, I don't like this particular aspect of my current living situation. Um, and there's a variety of factors that are beyond me for why this is a problem. I like to think I'm not an unreasonable person, but I'm seeing the world as being quite unreasonable. And it's not intelligent either. Made this point before. The world's not an intelligent place. The world's simply filled with assholes. That's not clever or smart or intelligent. Anybody can be an asshole, and there's nothing creative about it. And there's nothing, groundbreaking, new, inventive, or anything. It's simply how things can work. And there are multiple reasons why there are no women around. None. That's whatsoever. I've somewhat recently joined Tinder. I was hesitant and pessimistic about signing up for it. You probably get more perks if you pay for it, but I'm seeing the version that I've got, and it's got a bunch of glitches in it. So many profiles are simply fake. I did put my best pictures up. You may have noticed that the lighting's not actually super amazing. I'm not good at getting my lighting right. That's minor insignificant problem. So, I look a lot paler here than I actually am. I don't get out in the sun that often, but, it's the lifestyle of someone who took a heavy dosage of Invega medication, which caused chronic sore throat for 7 years. They have a tendency to not spend enough time outside outdoors, which would be a normal activity and I'd be willing to do. Uh, However, right now, making videos at near midnight when I've got places to be first thing in the morning. That's what my normal life is. And I'm talking to my YouTube audience, um, probably comprised of mostly assholes who are, checking in on their little fish and their fish bulb. I can't be the only guy in this situation, but I like to think that I'm the best. That, there might be other unfortunate people and they're never going to be able to pick themselves up, but I know for a fact that I'm going to. And, I there are certain aspects about me as a person, not simply this YouTube channel, and other factors that contradict what I vaguely and generically hear in my day-to-day life. Uh, if I had all the facts, I would have a rebuttal for almost all of them, if not every fact or supposed fact, I should say, um, about my current social situation. Um, there actually are women out there that do like me. I don't often hear that. I pretty much never hear that actually, but that's how they maintain the control. And it's important to note that it's fine not having, complete control over, your own social atmosphere. I mean, to be the center of attention and to be, dictatorial, authoritarian, always getting your way, getting mad when you don't get your way, um, it's an unrealistic lifestyle. That's understandable. However, I don't think anyone else around my YouTube channel learned that lesson. I think they can tell me what to do and what to think, and it's like, oh, gee whiz, I might consider doing what you say and what you want me to think if you were actually, I don't know, intelligent, but you're not. So, how are you going to persuade me that you're right and I'm wrong other than brute force? How are you going to do it? Because right now, like, from what I see, if this is, the beginning stages of your persuasive argument, uh, you know, um, you might want to think of a better one because this simply isn't going to work. And when it comes to chicks and things like Tinder, where a normal person signing up for that, within a week or whatever, they're gonna have someone messaging them, and who knows, it might be a swing and a miss or whatever, but they get the opportunity. I don't get the opportunity. I bet you my Tinder profile will be up there for months, years even, and no one will say anything to me. And you know why? Is because the people who run the internet have given me the stupid version of the Tinder that isn't going to work. Um, Yeah, so that's very much a factor. I mean, as I've explained, I'm an involuntary celibate. That means I do not have the option uh, of of intermingling with women. I don't have that option. That option has been taken away from me. And it's not because I'm a bad guy. It's because I got put in a situation where I have some redeeming, admirable qualities, believe it or not. And there are people out there who do not have those qualities and wish to ascertain them. And I can only speculate as to what they will do to get them. And, this is not what I thought of when I first made my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, might not have even made a YouTube channel to begin with had I not been an involuntary celibate before then. The difference is, no one would hear any version of my story other than what people around me tell them. And the people that are around me tell stories that are factually inaccurate and they can't actually prove them because they're simply not true. And I don't, I've heard some mumblings through the grapevine of some of the things that I've been called and things like that. And, those people are despicable. And why they're allowed to run around having a normal life and, they don't have problems getting women or, having a normal social situation because it's not only men who call me really bad names, it's also women too, because women can be very scornful when they're rejected. Excuse me, fuck off. And, that leads to the next segment of this video. The kinds of women that have gravitated around my channel. I'm not exactly sure exactly who they are or what kind of people they are, but I can speculate. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, and I want to really make that a point. Like, there are some, obviously a lot of ground rules, but, there are exceptions to the rules in certain situations, which I will decide. I'm not going to put up with someone else telling me, doesn't matter who they are, what the rules are for my social situation. I'm not going to go along with that. There are genres of women that I am not interested in the slightest. And okay, it is a bit of a bias. It is because of my situation, the way I've had to live my life. I have said in videos that, I'm a white supremacist. I am one. That doesn't mean I don't think that other people don't deserve to have, good quality lives. Doesn't mean that at all. That wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be right. However, I do exercise the right to say, not interested in black women. Not at all. Not interested in Asian women. Not interested in Latina women. I suppose I'd go with them. I made that a point in a video some time ago. Because it follows suit with an ideological belief that the Canadian government is really trying to push. And that's all, everyone holding hands. We all live on this planet, let's live in peace, blah, 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 bullshit. Meanwhile, particularly the white man, or that's not even accurate. It's the lower class of white man. And when I mean lower class of white man, I mean the not multimillionaires, uh, not the eccentric uh, people who happen to be in certain situations. I mean, your common everyday man who has to work. It's the white man who's got to take it on the chin. Trust me, Justin Trudeau doesn't take anything on the chin. And guys like him and follow suit with him, fuck them. I'm never gonna like guys like that because they were trash. They had no problem discarding guys like me before they even got a chance because it's less competition for them, and it's not an admirable quality on their behalf. That's for sure. Um, so anyway, that aside, there's certain types of women I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in beach chicks. I gotta say that. I don't care what race they are. If they're showing the goods to, basically every ogler, or, they're putting themselves in situations where that is the instance, um, yeah, that's a wrong answer to the questionnaire, which is what I have. And they should know that. Again, there are exceptions to the rule. However, as a typical thing, do not like beach chicks uh, because, and it's not simply because I hate sand, although not. Yeah, that's we're not going to talk about that sort of stuff. Um, that's not me wanting to talk about it. That's the internet keep vaguely mentioning it for Star Wars and all that kind of stupid movie garbage. Anyway, because I could go to a beach, it's not a big deal. But anyway, aside from all that, a woman who has had many admirers and things like that, and perhaps a promiscuous sex life. Yeah. I'm the ultimate decider if I want to go with a chick or not, long term or whatever. And I'm most of those resumes I'm gonna toss out. That's a fact. I'm not putting up with that. I'm not putting up with women that have been around and have other men who have made territorial claims. I'm not battling other dudes to get with women. That's not happening after what's happening to me. Not putting up with them trying to put their authoritarian stamp on me by painting me as the villain so that they can justify their putting their boot down as an authoritarian stamp on the social situation. That's not happening. And if a chick wants to put me through that, then guess what? She's off the damn list. It's as simple as that. Simply like that. And I will do it without no emotion and no thought. I'll simply dispose of women that I do not care about. And if they're trying to aggravate the situation, trying to make it problematic, which they most certainly will because people are petty and they don't take losing very well, yeah, I'm trying to avoid the problem, but obviously I'm not going to get pushed into a situation where I have to accept a uncomfortable peace, as one might say, with people whom I despise. If I don't like somebody, man or woman, it's not the issue. It's the issue around my social situation and my interest in particular women. If they have men around them that I do not like, then, obviously it's going to be problematic. A woman's way of resolving this issue, and I think I might have slightly brushed up on this, is for them to go with overtly a guy that everyone in their social circle hates. And then a lot of the animosity is targeted towards them, and it's usually race based, but not always. It can be other things. And then they go with a guy like me afterwards, and they're able to walk away from their social life, but they leave a back door open so that they can get back into it. They don't burn their bridges, and I did definitely make that a point before. And I'm not putting up with that either, because then you can never fully trust them. There'll always be someone who can come climbing out of the woodwork, and I don't believe in having a guard a chick 24 hours a day. I don't want to go with a chick that I have to guard 24 hours a day without fear of walking out of the room and another guy's putting the bite on her. And again, given my social circumstances and the amount of women that like me, that might be, basically any woman, because there'll be a woman who'll be goading a guy on to put the bite on that chick so that I get a negative impression of her. And, this merry-go-round of bullshit continues. And it's like, no, not putting up with that. These really low-grade psychological games that I can foresee happening. No, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna walk into a relationship and think, oh, this is a random occurrence, it's the fickle hand of fate. Oh, this is wonderful, this is great, and this wasn't staged at all. Bullshit. Bullshit. Don't believe it for a second. Never will. As I said before, the women I ran into in the past that, obviously, that was right place, right time, and, it was, uh, that's a thing. But anyway, in the future, it'll always be a plant. To what extent, how much this plant particularly knows, maybe it's, I don't know what trees grow coconuts or something. The palm trees. Okay, yeah, palm trees grow coconuts, don't they? Anyway, maybe it's a palm tree that hasn't grown its coconuts. I don't know. I can't think of the metaphorical word to describe it, but you know what I damn well mean. That there won't actually, if I'm to believe that there isn't any outside interference, and that it is a random occurrence and all this sort of stuff. I'm sorry. With everything that's gone on in my life, I don't believe it anymore. And there is no one on this earth, short of them doing a medical experiment on me where they carve cut of my brain out. I will never believe that version of events. It's not going to happen. Um, and it's almost depressing, really. It takes a little bit of the magic, a little bit of the zest, a little bit of the mysticism out of life, unfortunately. But that is my current social circumstance. Uh, Things are artificial, uh, and things are out of place. And I know there are a lot more opportunities than I ever see. In my life, it's like I'm looking for water in a desert and it's not happening. And on the other side, there actually is an oasis. It's like, but I can't ever see it because there are people who don't want me to, because they're arguing amongst themselves as to who gets first dibs, I suppose. They probably go, oh, Ryan's a simpleton, he's an idiot. It doesn't matter what he thinks right now because we can manipulate him by social circumstance, by verbal communication, by physical stimuli, and everything else into behaving the way that we want him to. The problem is you already tried that. I've seen you already try that, and it didn't work. Case in point. But there are other social stimuli, physical stimuli. I mean, uh, I have to seriously take into consideration, like, look, if one day I can actually, actually touch a female. Oh, would that ever be nice? Um, you know, without all this other social going, if me commingling with this other female is going to cause these problems and all this other, I gotta get that, I gotta block that out, though that kind of things, because I'm never going to be physical with a woman otherwise. I actually have to show self-control in the sense that my dick doesn't have to be out of my pants at all. Having a kiss and a cuddle with a chick is great. That'll do me for now. Um, because it's not a big deal, but it is. As strange as that sounds, I have to play the pieces slowly and build up. I know it'll happen one day. Because there are plenty of people going, "Oh, you're ugly, you're stupid, you got a shitty job, no one will ever like you, you'll never get a girlfriend." And then meanwhile, there's a McDonald's employee who's banging their Latina girlfriend, and she's not bad looking, and they have a normal social life, and I'm here going, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm not bad looking, I got a not bad job," and you know other things. I'm going, your story doesn't add up. And you sound like a punk or a bitch, whatever, who's made up a story because you're not getting what you want. And unfortunately for you, you know, I might be deprived of a social life, but that doesn't mean you deprived me of my brain. You tried very hard to do so, but I'm still capable of understanding things. And sure, there will be a physical aspect to, seeing rejection, um, seeing annoying things. Like, it would be uncomfortable if a woman was friendly with me and then I saw her with the boyfriend and I was, felt like a chump for a little bit. That would not be cool. Obviously, I don't think any guy would like that, but me especially with this combination of the medications I have to take basically from the fallout of Invega, that most certainly doesn't help. However, psychologically, that's a thing I've grown to accept. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, getting back to the whole women thing is like, I, I, you know, I think it would be fair that they have normal sex life before they met me, which is kind of why I don't want to go with chicks that are my age. I want to go with chicks that are a little bit younger. I'm thinking, mid to late 20s is kind of my age bracket that I'm going for. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. And when I say normal sex life, that will be up to me to decide. Not them, me. Because if I look at it and go, no, then that no is gonna, they're gonna understand that, and I'm simply gonna walk away from it. Uh, Not putting up with their definition of normal because they didn't live the lifestyle that I was forced to live. Uh, they, they obviously don't understand if they think that they're going to tell me how to think and how to perceive what a relationship is and all this sort of stuff. It's like, again, if you were more intelligent, perhaps you could persuade me, but you're not, so you can't. And, you know, um, no village bicycles. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they look like. I don't care how much, social status or money or anything that they have. If they're the village bicycle, guess what? They're fucking gone. I don't even want to know their name. And if that slag can't handle that and chooses to be venomous against other women and put them in social situations where they feel as though they have to be more promiscuous or more sexually active with more partners and things like that, then that woman's only digging a deeper hole for themselves, and I'm not throwing them ladder to climb out of it, I'm simply going to walk away. And, I wish it were as easy as Thanos snapping his fingers and, making the people he doesn't like disappear, but it isn't that easy. Eventually, it is going to happen, though. There are people that are surrounding my YouTube channel, surrounding my social life from afar, so I don't know who they are or what they look like, whom I do not want there because they are counterintuitive to everything that I want in life. And obviously, they gotta go. There's no excuse or reason for them being there. And I know that's not the answer what people want to hear. People want to hear, oh, well, when this guy finally gets some action, he's gonna turn into the biggest man whore in the world, and he's gonna go around doing this, and then he's gonna run around thinking this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, did you watch any of my videos at all, or did you sort of make up the story in your head? Because I think you're a complete retard. I don't think you know me at all. I don't think you understand. That would be going along with what you want me to do. And maybe it's an impediment on my part, but I really don't like going along with what people want me to do who have been fucking me around. I got this thing. I don't like it. I don't like being manipulated into doing things that people who were assholes to me want me to do. Is that so fucking unreasonable? Yeah, it's like some people don't get it. They don't want to get it. They're too busy. They're too important. They're too good. Got news for you assholes. You're not. You're trash like everyone else. Human beings are a plague on this planet. That's a fact. Yeah. I'm kind of going all over the place here. Make the video a little more interesting. Not simply narrow-minded view on things. And these women, I know they're there. And I know they're bickering amongst themselves, and it may not be their fault. I gotta, really analyze the situation, really figure things out before I, cast judgment and things like that. I can't be insensitive, or insensitive, I should say. Yeah, insensitive, or intolerant, or lacking the ability to be patient and understand things from an appropriate point of view. However, the situation, it's a lot more complicated than it should be. And, I wish people had more respect for my, opinions on things and my beliefs and that sort of stuff. I'm not going to be all up in people's faces about it, but at the same time, if I see them trying to, give me attitude, I am going to stop and go, who in the fuck are you giving me attitude about anything after what happened to me? Who the fuck are you? You could be the fucking Prince Charles, Queen of England, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, anybody. You come around giving me attitude, you're going to get the business end of a conversation, and guess what? You ain't going to come out with a full pocket full of money. Because no, I am not putting up with that. There are gonna be people, I forget the term, I think it's called psychoanalyzing, checking these videos out going, where is he getting all this? We've controlled his social life to such an OCD extent. Where could he have possibly have thought of all these things? Guess what? It's called being a free thinker. I know you want to put people in their little boxes and tell them what to think and how to behave, and they never leave their little box. But guess what? You're not smarter than me, and you're not more intelligent, and it doesn't matter how manipulative physically and mentally you are, you're not going to corrupt the way I think. I'm not going to allow it. I mean, for all I know, there are people out there who have similar opinions as me, and maybe I'll agree with them. Not opposed to disagreeing with everyone. However, it is kind of leaning towards that direction. Um, yeah, this is a big complicated problem, and it really shouldn't be. Uh, there's so many variables. It's impossible for me to completely understand it, or I understand it from my perspective, but that's about it. And there's a lot of facts and details that I'm missing out on. However, I think from my point of view, these known unknowns aren't going to change the way I perceive things. Doesn't matter at this point. It's like doesn't matter who you are, what you've been through, what um, your social life is like, and how you've gravitated around my channel or me personally, whatever. And therefore, you have the right to tell me what to do. I decide that, not you. And, as I said, there are exceptions to the rule, and I'll gladly, accept certain things if I agree with them. If I do not agree with them, then guess what? Take a hike. Yeah, and yeah. Let's get back into the solid facts about chicks. Um, I'm not a beggar. Not a beggar. I don't have to be one. I haven't had action in ever, but that doesn't mean I'm a beggar. I'm not gonna go chasing a woman. I'm not going to put up with these stupid little games where I'm put in a social situation where it's like they're leading me on, but if I, you know, move forward, try to engage in conversation or anything like that, that they're gonna all of a sudden it's like the pretend weird out and they're distancing themselves. And this is all in part of an entrapment type of game that they like to play. Nope, that bullshit right out the window. That's part of the whole plant routine that I was telling you about. It's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. There are plenty of chicks out there that aren't gonna play that type of game, and they only would if there are other women and men who have stuck their nose into my business, who are forcing them to do such thing. And it's like, why do these people have opinions and power over what goes on in my life? Why? They're not competent. They're not intelligent. They don't have anything I couldn't ascertain myself. Why are they there? Why do they need to be there? I'm sure there are plenty of people who make excuses and bogus reasons for why they are there, but guess what? There's a little thread that holds it all together. And I am the kind of guy who is going to pull that thread and everything's going to collapse. And that's, you know, if I can't live a normal life, and that's more and more what it kind of looks like, you know, I'm not doing what they want me to do. I've metaphorically called it, Keanu Reeves, Neo, giving in to the Matrix and things like that. And it's like, you got the wrong guy. I'm not going to sacrifice myself to the Matrix because it's convenient for you. If I have to go to hell, everyone's going with me. To varying stages, of course. And why I made some points, and the reason I don't like Asian women, it's not that they can't be very beautiful. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they have very nice aroma to them, so that it stimulates sexual arousal. If the very few times I'm ever close to an Asian woman or any woman at all, there are some Asian women who are very pretty. The problem is where the center of power is, where they are the leaves to the branches to the tree. they are very, very hideous people. And it's a bad image for me to go with an Asian woman at this point in time. Very bad. It's like because the tree which holds the branches, which holds the leaves, which holds the fruit. Um, you know, it looks as though it acts as though it controls the whole thing. So for me, it's a complete insult to everything I am as a person and my beliefs to go with an Asian woman at this time. However, if that were the only choice because of physical temptation and things like that, that would be different. But I'm going to be very controlled about it. I know a lot of people go, "Oh, he's a pushover." A woman only has to show her tits and his pants are going to be off. No, don't get me wrong, kiss and call would be great. That's not an issue. However, I hold myself in high value, so things take a little bit of time, and I need a better perspective of things before I make any rash decisions. And right now, I simply don't see an Asian woman, in my interest. And again, a part of this is because of the social ideological belief that's trying to be constructed about racial relations and, consider what the Canadian ideological beliefs on everything is. I don't agree with it. It's this ideological belief that helped put me in this situation in the first place. So, going, everybody's my friend. This is all great and wonderful. And it's like, hold on a second. For 7 years, I had a sore throat, and they use this ideological belief that I simply just described as reasoning for it. And I'm going, you know what? I'm going to fuck up your program. I'm going to fuck up your program. I'm not going to go along with what you say. I'm going to go do my own thing. And, I want to go with white women. As I said, I'm a white supremacist. And part of that being is that I prefer white women to black women, to Asian women, to Latina women. I understand, people are individuals and they are different from one another, but as I said, it's part of the tree, which is part of the branch, which is part of the leaf, part of the fruit. And I don't have a problem really going with black women or Asian women or whatever, but they're certainly not first in line, not after everything that's happened to me. And they may not be at all, fickle hand of fate. I'm not bothered by that because, oh, there are reasons, reasons everywhere. Um, and for those white women who think that they're going to get bonus points or front of the line pass or whatever because they do everything that Canadian society says is normal, you may get that front of the line pass with them. You may get bonus points with them, but you're getting nothing from me. That don't mean squat. You want to live your life? I don't have a problem with people living their life. That's not my business. My business is if they're trying to make it my business to believe what they believe in, with their inferior uh, political, ideological beliefs on right and wrong. And I can understand that they don't like that. I can understand that they see this one guy who separates himself from the pack who has a different opinion from their own, and all they want to do is, shut him up, put him in the corner, make him disappear, which is essentially what they've been trying to do to me. And they can do this with a woman, actually, theoretically. Woman comes around, starts badgering me about my YouTube channel, starts telling me everything I believe in is wrong, blah, 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 blah. And, I mean, I do want to have physical relations with women. I'm not angry at them as a whole gender, like a lot of involuntary celibates are. I'm not. That's because there's some women that are alright, and a lot of them are bitches, and there are a lot of men who make women bitches, whom I don't like, who are assholes. So you gotta take things into consideration. Try and take a step back and really have a good look at things. And yeah, uh, what a big damn mess. Everything about this is, you know, so perplexing, and it might be an unsolvable problem. Because I am a contradiction to mainstream society. And, there's so much going on. And I know a lot of people are watching this video. I'd be surprised if it says 1 view on my YouTube channel, but that would be a lie. Yeah, right. Take a look at my other videos. 1 view? Shut up. It's like, bull crap, I believe your story. Your story's stupid and doesn't make any sense. And the longer this goes on, the more it won't make sense. I simply wish I was more not so physically ill. I'd be out and about being a cheeky monkey right now if I could, but I can't. Not until I'm 100% with the throat, because I gotta take medications. It's basically keeps my body from curling up into a ball and me dying essentially, because of the Invega medication I had to take for so long. This is such a complicated problem, and it's very, very, very difficult to figure out, based on what limited information I have. And if for no other reason, this will show the fundamental flaw of Canadian society and the stupidity of the Canadian public. I can't believe how retarded people are, and they actually believe certain stories. And it's scary because they tell, the way what a Canadian's supposed to be, and it changes every generation. And they see it more and more often. And, people coming of age and things like that, growing up, they believe versions of society that are completely inaccurate. And essentially they're bought off with stuff that's inconsequential. Like you take marijuana for example, a lot of people are like, wow, marijuana is legal, blah 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 blah. And it's like, plenty of people smoke marijuana long before you did. I mean, before you could get years in prison for smoking marijuana, but that was a long time ago. In the last couple of decades, you could smoke marijuana and be relatively fine. You might get a ticket or something, but you'd be fine. Not that I partaked. Um, Alcohol's superior in every way, except it makes you fat. So you got to exercise. Um, and I am a man who is critical, but is open to criticism. Um, and there's a lot going on. And I'm the kind of guy who I simply can't be bought off by sex. Because there are a lot of involuntary celibates. It doesn't take much. They get committed to a chick because of there's physical stimuli, and some of them grovel to women. Some of them don't really understand a relationship, and if there are more than one woman interested, like in my case, that woman will eventually sort of back away, because for whatever reason, mostly because she won't have a choice. In my case in particular, I would note. And other ones, they'll simply do it because the guy's a douchebag or a creep or whatever. I'm none of those things, so at least I like to think I'm not anyway. No, I can't be a douchebag about these sort of things, man. And it doesn't matter who says it. It doesn't matter if they talk with attitude. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they get angry about it. I'm gonna make decisions that people aren't gonna like. And if They don't understand that, don't want to understand that. And I guess it's a big fuck you to them. Because I'm not putting up with it. Put up with a whole bunch of bullshit for a lot of years. And it's like, I don't, I'm not a spiteful person. I don't go out of my way to cause anyone else any problems. A lot of problems have come my way. And I happen to know simply by not doing what people want me to do is enough to fuck them up. And in that sense, how can I be the bad guy? It's nothing that's minimal that they wouldn't do on their own. In fact, they'd be so much worse about it. However, the tables are not in their favor. And, this is a waiting game, and I don't have to do anything at all. Don't have to do anything at all. I simply don't have to do things. I don't have to be friendly with people I don't want to be friendly with. And believe you me, I will see. If people come along and they look phony, I'm gonna know right away. And if they don't look phony, there's a few psychological tricks that are easy to imply, which will determine if they are indeed a phony, which they probably will be. And let the games begin, because you know right now the only reason my life is entertaining is because I made it entertaining for myself. Otherwise, like I could have been one of these douchebags who was a gray. Nothing was going on, nothing was happening, no new events, no new thought, no new anything. That would have been the easy slouch way to do things. Speaking of slouching, I better not do that anymore. And if anyone's guessing, this is a China Uncensored t-shirt, so that's got nothing to do with anything. I happen to be wearing a China Uncensored t-shirt. Uh, and I have been openly critical about the Chinese regime. And I am well cognizant of the fact that I live in a city where there are a lot of Asian people, and they don't exactly want to hear the kind of bad stuff. It's kind of a negative subject for them. But excuse me, you're a civilian occupation force, so you go fuck yourself. And that's a big part of the reason I don't really want to go with Asian women at this point in time. Um, I mean, I would if it was the right social circumstance, but I'm not really keen on it, to be honest with you, because it's more than physical attractiveness that makes somebody attractive. There's a whole wide range of things that they have to be, and some women are those things, and a lot of them aren't. And physical attractiveness is only going to get you so far. And it should do, because, people can't rely on their looks for everything. And good-looking people should definitely know that. Anyway, I'm done talking about this right now. I want to, have some beverage. So I will talk to you people later. Go Boston Bruins. Awesome. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets today. And yeah, very Irish. So I will talk to you people later. Have a good one. And if me being me offends you, fuck you. Anyway, talk to you later.